It was a perfect weekend until the last race.
Quite special being back here in Bermuda. This is where the team started, and nice to come back and sort of complete that circle. And the game has moved on massively since we were here last, and the expertise within the fleet and the way people are sailing these boats now compared to then is just a world apart. Friday, we were told we had to go T-foil testing and miss the practice racing, which is tough.
In season 5 next year, the plan is to swap out the high-speed boards for a new designed high-speed board. And we basically had 2 different size T-foils, and it was our job to kind of analyze how those performed in different wind speeds. There's a lot more performance to be got out of these boats, which is surprising considering how highly performing they are already. But yeah, it's exciting times within the league, and it's nice to be involved in the development.
Look, we dealt with it, we made the most of it. We got some time in another boat just to sort of get a little bit of time on the high-speed foils before we raced with them on Saturday, and a little bit of time on Saturday morning, and it was actually quite good. It was nice to sort of be removed from the racing side of it, focus on ourselves and our manoeuvres and just fine-tuning a few things. Look, you're on the course virtually, and yeah, you're just racing against the clock. You're racing yourself around the track, so picking the best pass. There's no dirty air, there's no one else to worry about, and it's different. It's a different vibe, but it's a good vibe. And you know, when we can race like that and remove everyone else, we tend to go pretty good.
Mindset-wise, going into this weekend, you know, we knew that points are tight. We knew that everybody is kind of fighting for that 3rd place position, so every point matters.
Race 1, we got a good start, top 3. Where we probably excelled was getting the inside line, and there's 2 things to sailboat racing which are really key, and one is being in clear air, but the other one is sailing the shortest distance. And we decided to sail the shortest distance but sail in dirt for a section of the first downwind, but what it did is it set us up to go to a different gate.
Canada, the top 3, and let's not forget, Stevie, Canada unable to practice yesterday as they were doing some testing for the T-foils.
We led around the right turn and got away from everyone else, out of traffic, and we could just pin our ears back, sail our own race from there, and yeah, it worked.
It's going to be fast.
So the Kiwis have to deal not only with Robertson and the Canadians, but also France and De La Pierre. It's Content De La Pierre. He spins it to the inside. Look how close they are.
Canada have got the advantage here. New Zealand must keep clear. Robertson just needs to stay fast. He slingshots around the outside. Brilliant by Robertson. And that set itself up a long way out, but it's going to be Canada bringing it home second.
Woo, that's some good racing.
Yeah, it was a great start to it. Went up there and sent it. Perfect conditions.
Perfect start there.
You know, we got another really good start in race 2.
Canada are going fast at the top of the line.
Then we're having a good fight with the Australians and pulling away from the rest of the fleet. That was really encouraging.
When we say racing the clock, we essentially mean we're a ghost boat around the race course. We don't want to engage with anybody else. We want to just sail our fastest pace. Imagine if there's no boats there, and try to make sure that nobody dictates what your next move will be.
It's really tight. Watch out, Canada. You've got to keep clear here. Australia's got the right of way. Aggressive manoeuvre by the Aussies. He forces them off the foils. Lead change. Apologies for a little bit of language from Phil on the back of the bus there. All got a bit tense on board that Canadian boat. Aggressive.
We just engaged a little bit too much with them and didn't really sail our own race and let them got back into the race with us, really.
Yeah. Everybody going that way. Massive gain as well, huh?
That was the whole race from there.
Yeah.
Race 3 is a perfect example of a situation where we didn't race the clock, you know.
Oh, what a start by Bottine at the top of the line, the only boat at full speed. He's hammering in fast here. Phil Robertson's got it out of the gun as well. He's executed the manoeuvre not particularly well. Canada nailed it, and very soon the Canadians are going to start to put some distance.
We were leading around the bottom mark, you know. We had a bad shift and dropped back to 3rd.
From there, and we had a tactical call whether or not we wanted to engage with Australia.
Canada gives the Australians a nudge. The Australians now have right of way on the inside. It's aggressive between these two. Canada get a little high and a little hot round the outside there.
We kind of took the chance to try to left them. It got us slow and on the outside of them. Basically,
and then, you know, once they got away from us, we then spiraled and let 2 more come past.
I'm driving. My wheel.
And look at this. Look at this at the final mark. It's Phil Robertson to the inside of Emirates GBR.
All the way up.
Another aggressive move. Robertson must keep clear.
It actually brings a bit of frustration on board, which is something that as a team we've talked about a lot and definitely debriefed a lot, but once you let frustration sort of creep into the team, then you start to go backwards.
Seems that every time we try to race a boat rather than racing the clock or doing our best time around the course, we focus on the wrong thing, and then we're losing position, we're losing distance.
Is if there were no other boats on the racetrack, we would do one thing, and then as soon as boats get involved and other competitors come in, we seem to do something differently.
Yeah, that's the message. We try to sail the breeze, sail the clock.
Overall, I would say there was a sense of frustration there, just in terms of, you know, once one thing goes wrong, it kind of seemed like a lot kind of snowballed from there.
Where it just gets bigger and bigger and you just got to try and stop it at some point.
That was a good day. Just sucks to finish on the bad race, but we got to remember it was a good day. That second race easily could have been a 6, and we turned it into a 2.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it was tough. We lost a few points from being probably what I would say is in the lead to finishing 5th or 6th.
We work on the communication and the decision making, and we make a big step. You could see that on race number 4.
There, Canada well positioned. France seem to have got through, but it's about acceleration now. Switzerland really well positioned here. Nathan Outridge on board that Swift boat's going to roll over the...
We're essentially unstoppable when we execute that.
Another manoeuvre, neither can Spain, so this is going to...
Yeah, we came out of the blocks firing and actually sailed probably one of our best races all weekend, where we picked off boats around us, got into 2nd position at the finish line in some very sort of tight, close battles with other boats. Yeah, we're proud of that and happy, and a great way to start the day.
You know, we went into that final race with a good lead. You know, we knew we only had to get a top 6 result to get into the final, and as it turned out, we actually only needed to beat 1 boat. But
and it's going to be a good start for Denmark. New Zealand are on the front row, and it's now a boat speed race. All 5 of them are well positioned, and Canada out the back. Disaster for the Canadians.
Unfortunately, when we were headed back to the line, we were just stuck in some dirt. Couldn't get the boat up to speed, couldn't quite get the acceleration that we wanted, and unfortunately split out the back at Mark 1.
Big story here is going to be Canada. They're way out the back. Look, they're only just rounding Mark 1.
We were trying to do 1 and in, and unfortunately there's the camera boat that was a little bit not in the proper position, I would say, in terms of racing. And that boat's wake is right there. So when your board goes down and goes on lock and you go to turn, the water's disturbed, and it was a really hard catch for Billy. Billy did a great job of saving it.
But at the bottom, we're already on the hunt, and after 2 tacks, we already overtook 2 boats. So I think you can race the clock, meaning you have to do the right thing.
There is this really fine balance within SailGP of engaging with another boat or just sailing your own race. There's a lot of positives for sailing your own race, but inevitably you are going to end up in a battle, and you need to be strong when you end up in those battles.
Every time you tack, you lose 60 meters. So it's all good to do an extra attack every beat, but you want to make sure that you're going to gain it back at least these 60 meters, or make a bigger gain, with a shift. So basically, when you're controlling, you're just losing distance to out compared to your clock time.
And then we got into the mindset of who have we got to beat here to make sure we get in the final. And it's a pretty complicated calculation of who you need to beat and who you don't, because there's lots going on and there's lots of boats in the mix. We started looking backwards instead of forwards. Racing the clock, that's the theme of the weekend, and that's the biggest way we can improve.
Honestly, just disappointment. I think everybody was just so gutted. We're all just sitting there really quiet, kind of staring off in the distance, just because we sailed well. We really, really did sail well. Hard pill to swallow 4th place, it's like you're right there and tied for 3rd, especially when the points are this tight in season points.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
After the last race, I was extremely frustrated at myself. I know the errors I made were probably lessons that were talked about, if not had before, and we made them again. And yeah, there is this fine balance of actually focusing on yourself as a squad and just racing your own race and racing the clock. But at some point, you need to put your focus onto boats. And when we did that this weekend, yeah, we went backwards.
I think we have to take everything we did well this weekend. We were leading before the last race, and on these fleets, it means a lot.
And we actually did the really hard stuff well, like starting. You know, we were in the top 2 to 5 out of 6 bottom marks, and that's phenomenal. You know, the thing we've got to work out is when things go badly, we've got to stop them going badly and reset and make sure we get our heads back in the game and move forwards.
Moving forward, we're in a great place. The team is going up and up and up. We're learning how to work together a lot better and more efficiently. And yeah, I think we're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next few events. And the next one's our home event, so yeah, we're gunning for that win. Halifax, it's going to be epic.